team, um, they're going to have a chance. They're going to have a chance to be very, I mean, they are good. But, and then being in a game like this for both teams helps. Because, I mean, they have a chance to beat us. I mean, we have to play really well in order not to be beaten today. I mean, real well.
What's the biggest difference in your team from the start of the year to where you are now?
I don't know. I think we continue to play tough teams. I mean, it's not even close. Our schedule is not even close to anybody's. I mean, everybody we play is good. It's so good. So, I mean, in order to beat those teams then, we have to play well, and the big thing is we've been able to manage Seth's injury well. I mean, he was unbelievable today. And again, you got to give him rest, and hopefully he'll be able to come back.
Coach, you've got one more non-conference game left. I mean, obviously you've won all your games, but what is your general overall assessment of your pre-conference season?
Well, what do you think? We're undefeated, we're number one in the country, we're playing our butts off. So other than that, I'm displeased. I'm really down about my team. I mean, our guys have played great. More than played great, they've competed great. You can play a good game, but when you compete every ball game, like our guys have competed, it's a long race. Like I have no illusions of grandeur. We're this perfect team, we're undefeated and all that kind of stuff, but we're good. And you keep getting in fights like this, and you get better. But that doesn't mean you're going to lose a few fights. But then at the end, hopefully you're tough enough to win the big fight. And so I'm glad my team has fought. We have it's amazing that our team poster this year, that there's one word, fight. And it's so appropriate for this team. Seth had to do something with his muscles, or lack of muscles, to make him look. He looks a little bit bigger in that poster than he is in person.
Mike, Brian Kelly had 11 rebounds, so Duke was plus 12 in boards, which is quite good. Dick's been against a good team this year. How is that a high priority going to ACC play?
Yeah, I mean, we out rebounded them, and they only, they didn't get as many offensive rebounds. They only had 7. So we're working on it, and when you're putting pressure on people like we are, you extend your defense. And a lot of times when you're putting pressure at the end of the exchange, because you put pressure, your ability to go on to that final step of getting a rebound is a very difficult step to make. And that's what we're attempting to do. And I think we're improving in it, but it's not an easy thing to do. Especially when we have a smaller perimeter, and our guys, the perimeter. Like Quinn got 4 defensive rebounds, but we have to get more from our perimeter guys. But again, better. It was better today.
Mike, after the Elon game, you pointed out that this is I think the word you used, the least assisted upon team.
Yeah.
And I looked at numbers, and that's absolutely right. But I'm just wondering, what does that reflect about the defense? Because you've had some good teams that gave up a lot of this.
Well, first of all, people do things with defense, and they do things with stats. Like, I don't know where we rank, but everybody doesn't play the same teams.
Yeah.
Like, if this was a college class, those people who would make those comments would flunk, because the set that you're comparing it's not the same set. Like, you'd have to play against the same teams to see if those stats are relevant to somebody else. So I put no relevance in where we stand, ACC or nationally. No, I'm just explaining something. Your point made me think of something that always bugs me. And with all the precision in that people have, like, to make those comments, it's just utterly ridiculous to say, like, we're holding our opponents and this opponent is like, okay, then play Ohio State, Louisville, Kentucky, VCU, and see what your stats are. What I'm saying is, I know we're a good defensive team by the fact that we force more turnovers than we give up assists. People shoot a low percentage, a fairly low percentage against us, and they're good players who are shooting the low percentage. And if we can just keep rebounding defensively, because that's the high, when you give up an offensive rebound, the percentage goes up offensively of what you might be able to do. Because either it's right under the bucket, or like today, we gave up an offensive rebound at the end and Foster's wide open. You have more of a chance of having a wide open shot. And so we have to keep doing that. But we're a very good defensive team. I mean, they, and I guess the only reason I know is I know. You know, like, so I have no data to compare it to all the other teams in the world. But I'm proud of my guys. This is a really big win for us because we could have definitely lost that game, and we were ready to play. We were ready to play at whatever level we could be ready coming off of our break. Our guys have great attitudes, and obviously we can be in a little bit better condition. But again, it's a long season. You want to make sure that you're kind of bringing them along. But we're going to keep playing teams that our game is their season. And that's something most people never, ever compete against. You know, where you're always competing against somebody's best. Somebody, like when I coach for the United States, they have free money. Every game that I coach. And, you know, at Duke, a lot of teams have free money, you know, against us. You know, because the story is not us winning, the story is us losing. And that's the way it's been for 25 years. And I'm not complaining. You know, but you have to coach teams like that. That has to be coached differently. It's just, it can't be fit into another way of somebody else does it. Well, who else is doing it? Yeah, so, you know, this was good. And it really, Kerry and his staff have done a marvelous job with their team. And they're good kids, they're tough, and, you know, they have multiple ball handlers. That's another thing, you know, going forward. You know, teams, you have to have multiple, if you can have multiple ball handlers, which they do. They're good. You know, we'll play another really good team on Wednesday, Davidson, and coached by, you know, one of the top coaches anywhere. You know, Bobby's one of the top coaches anywhere. So hopefully this all gets us ready and we stay healthy. And it's our 12th game. It's a long journey.